day. I'm just excited. I feel like we've been building up for this and working so hard for this.
It was November 2021 that Christine Brown softly closed the door on 27 years of polygamous marriage to Kody Brown. For decades, that spiritual union had been her definition, the prism through which she defined herself.
I'm jaded, I guess. I just don't see plural marriage in the same light that I used to. And we're at a stage in our lives now where we're far apart.
But when she acknowledged that the spark had fizzled, and when Kody started publicly showing preference for his fourth wife, Robin, Christine realized something essential had to shift. She informed Suki Krishnan during the season 19 tell-all. We used each other, discussing how their intimate relationship had sunk to the level of simply being mere mechanical habits, without any love or emotional substance. When she finally posed to Kody,
the woman always lifts her leg. You know what? I'm gonna do it because it was a magical moment, so I lifted my leg.
Are we going to have sex in our marriage? His curt no became a slamming shut of her future. At that moment, she said, "You're done." That was it. The undoing of everything she once believed. Fast forward to Valentine's Day 2023, when Christine posted on Instagram, "I finally found the love of my life, David." She wasn't mincing words. This was not rebound. It was powerful rebirth. David Woolley, a widower and father of 8 from Utah, had come into her life through a dating site, and she was swept away by his niceness, his capacity to envelop her in his arms, and his telling her every day how beautiful she was. They got engaged in April, having only dated for a few months.
We were under this shaded tent, we were there with the water and the rock, and we had this great meal.
And on October 7th, we're standing before an altar in Moab, Utah, promising in front of 330 witnesses, including Christine's whole family. Truly, her daughter brought down the rings down the aisle. Her son Peyton walked her halfway before passing her on to her father. David's son-in-law performed the ceremony. It was beautiful, emotional, and intensely personal. No maid of honor, no best man. This wedding was theirs alone. Rottweiler Event Design. Their special was produced for TLC, but the real showstopper was the palpable sense of intimacy.
There's my queen, my unicorn. I couldn't believe that this was happening.
As E! News said, the wedding was sexy, elegant, fairy tale, with their first dance swirling under string lights and a flower-arched altar set against red rock cliffs and the Colorado River. Even the food and decorations were a far cry from her initial marriage. Chunky cowboy potatoes and bear tier cakes covered with real flowers spoke to the earthy honesty she was finally experiencing. And when Christine took David by surprise in a lap dance at the reception, laughing, unfazed, it became a declaration. She was through camouflaging. Rottweiler Event Design. Today, Christine calls David her partner, her king, her mirror. On Instagram, he writes her, "My queen," and in a rare interview, he whispered, "You just knew you were special," upon proposal. An intimate moment captured on film along a springtime hike in Utah. Her own words come back to her. "He treats me like a queen. I've never been in love like this before."
I felt like he was trying to prove to her that he was a stand-up guy, and I didn't know why specifically.
You know what? In a whole other world and universe, I thought it would be nice if...
The world feels brighter with him in it. Their bond wasn't only love, it's practical and family. David is a self-proclaimed grandpa, working tirelessly to merge families by taking Truly and his grandkids on wild adventures from theme parks to sunset beach walks. They even bought and opened an Airbnb in Moab, making their love story a life project shared. Compare that to Kody, who now acknowledges his marriages with Christine, Mary, and Janelle withered as his feelings centered on Robin. During one-on-one, he claimed he even responded by stating he didn't love his former wives, only to clarify afterward that it was a knee-jerk reaction stemming from hurt. Mary reacted, "Why don't you just say for once you did?" Highlighting Kody's history of revising history in his own defense. Just recently, in a surprising turn of progressive post-divorce etiquette, Kody showed he actually got along with David, and even proposed the two might go on a guy's trip together. But then he changed his mind, labeling the idea uncool because he feared Christine would be upset about it. Christine herself confessed on camera that in some other universe, she wouldn't object to seeing the two men get close. But today, she still doesn't trust Kody, or what he tells her about her. Even Robin appeared uneasy with Kody's changing storyline. She explained to Suki that she felt that Kody was redoing the past, that his claims of never having loved his wives were actually bitterness and hurt speaking. In the meantime, Christine and David's new life is all about giving each other what Kody wasn't able to: security, joy, spontaneity.
It was a dream
In
come.
February 2024, she announced that David had lost 20 pounds after quitting sugar and soda, supporting one another's health and aspirations. A few weeks later, they purchased a $676,000 home in Moab that's now their Airbnb, hosting travelers and creating a shared future. In her October 7th, 2024 first wedding anniversary message, Christine expressed thanks to David for being the man he is, writing that, "It's been incredible. Our unity makes me feel at home wherever we are." She thought about how free she had become and how totally seen. Nevertheless, the tension remains. Reddit supporters argue whether Christine really has moved on or if there's still a chip on her shoulder. Some claim she still harbors a grudge, recalling Kody's abandonment even in happy moments. Whether that's residual resentment or genuine healing, it's a great setup question. Can love ever be reborn completely if remnants of the past still remain present? So here's the breakdown. She escaped a draining marriage. She got with someone who adores her. She created a life more meaningful and sensual. She's happy and unashamed, but the shadows of past betrayals linger. Next, we'll dig into how Kody is coping, how Robin is navigating shifting family dynamics, and whether we'll ever truly see closure between Christine and her first husband. Stay tuned to Sister Wives Decoder, where nothing is off limits. Christine Brown's relationship with David Woolley is a stark contrast to the long, troubled marriage she had with Kody Brown. Whereas her union with Kody was characterized by silence, distance, and emotional withdrawal, her relationship with David is based on mutual respect, true affection, and honest communication. It's that kind of relationship where both parties feel heard, seen, and appreciated. A total departure from her previous life. David did not merely step into Christine's life. He smoothly blended into her family, making warm connections with her kids and grandchildren. Where Christine's initial marriage was like a play of role-playing and duty, life with David is colorful and real. Their affectionate displays out there in the open, hugging during a family event, or exchanging playful moments on social media, demonstrate the strength of their relationship. For Christine, this openness isn't just about love. It's a bold declaration of the freedom she's claimed for herself. Christine has spoken candidly about the moment she told Kody, "We're done." This wasn't a decision made lightly or overnight. After nearly 3 decades in a spiritual marriage that began in 1994, the painful truth became undeniable. She was Kody's third wife, after Mary and Janelle, and together they had 6 children. But the marriage was anything but the one she had dreamed of. Kody's preference to live with his youngest wife, Robin, cut deep. Worse still was his matter-of-fact declaration that he was no longer attracted to Christine. That destroyed any possibility for physical and emotional intimacy. Looking back on those years, Christine has spoken of the beginning of their marriage as fun and full of good times. But with Robin's arrival, everything shifted. She has disclosed that at that time, their relationship was basically over anyway. What they had was no longer true closeness. It was a shadow of what a great loving marriage ought to be. Kody never emotionally, romantically, physically, or financially invested in Christine. Instead, their relationship dwindled to obligation. Christine's admission that sex with Kody was now an act only broken and lacking in fulfillment lifts the veil on the emotional shallowness she suffered. Despite having 6 children together, there was no real connection between them now. She told me she frequently felt used. a harsh testimony to how empty and transactional the relationship had turned. She knew if anyone knew how she felt, it was Kody. But their marriage was so filled with unspoken hurt that neither of them seemed capable of closing the gap. This emotional distance has nothing to do with physical intimacy. It has to do with the very center of a marriage, being emotionally available to the other. Christine's narrative is a poignant reminder that without that central intimacy, even the longest relationships are susceptible to breakdown. She did not walk away out of selfishness or impulsiveness. Her choice was the end result of years of emotional abandonment, silence, and attempts to restore what had been destroyed. Kody's failure, or refusal, to cultivate the bond only solidified Christine's belief that she was deserving of better. In walking away from Kody, Christine wasn't merely ending a marriage. She was taking back who she was. The contrast between her former life and current situation couldn't be more evident. Where she was invisible and unwanted before, with David she is loved, wanted, and adored. Her path is one of devastation and recovery, but also of empowerment and renewal. Now, Christine and David's love is the light of what can happen when love is based on respect and genuine connection. They freely display their joy and affection, encouraging the world that it's never too late to have real love. Theirs is a story that deeply touches every person who's ever felt unvalued or stuck in an unloving relationship and gives them hope that better tomorrow is attainable. On the Sister Wives Season 19, Tell All Special, host Suki Krishnan presented a moving and insightful package of footage showing David and Christine's displays of affection publicly over the course of the season. The photos indicated that they walked hand in hand, laughed, and had intimate moments together, something fans had hardly seen Christine share with Kody in recent years. After watching the montage, David looked at Christine and stated, "Well, you were starved for attention." What he said caused Christine to blush and feel somewhat embarrassed, but beneath she couldn't help but know that it was true. Christine had yearned for the love she never got from Kody for years, and now she had found a man who wanted her to be happy, to love her as she should be loved. When it was Kody's turn in the tell-all, Suki showed him the same package of clips. She questioned Kody about how he felt seeing his former wife demonstratively showing affection with someone new, someone who was not a part of their special and intricate family system. Kody replied calmly and even encouragingly. He admitted he was happy for Christine, acknowledging, "It's really what Christine always wanted." He expressed admiration for her ability to create the life she wanted, saying, "I'm pretty impressed by her ability to manifest." For someone who had been the spiritual head of a polygamist family for so many years, Kody's reaction was unexpectedly gracious, showing a level of acceptance of the changes in their lives. Looking back on his marriage to Christine, Kody said their marriage was a good time experience, but conceded that where the more profound, difficult side of a committed relationship came in, the two of us both struggled. His candor was so different from the tension and drama that viewers had grown used to on television. It showed a man who understood the limits and challenges they had, particularly if emotional closeness was absent. Christine's move on wasn't simply about getting a new lover, it was about finding the contact that had never existed before. Christine, however, is obviously better off now that she is wedded to David. Their affair is warm, loving, and respectful. Kody even admitted that Christine always craved more physical affection from him, and now she has a husband who willingly provides that affection in abundance. "Yeah, my mom always wanted more physical affection from Dad," he replied, talking about their children. "And so now she's going to get physical affection openly as much as she wants." It was an unusual moment of levity and acceptance from Kody, a sign perhaps of reconciliation with the changes. David's rejection of the polygamous way of life is the perfect complement to Christine's new beginning. While Kody maintained the spiritual marriage and polygamist concepts, David provides a conventional, monogamous relationship with emotional intimacy. This contrast has not escaped the notice of Christine's family. Some of her 6 children initially questioned how rapidly the relationship with David progressed, concerned about its impact on their family life. But as they witnessed the real happiness and stability that David introduced into Christine's life, they soon came to wholeheartedly accept the union of the couple. The transition from a spiritual marriage based on distance and emotional barriers to a loving, affectionate relationship with David is a credit to Christine's strength and resilience. She has found happiness on her own terms. The path was not straightforward. There was heartbreak, difficult discussions, and the challenge of redefining family. But the outcome is undeniable. Christine has discovered love, respect, and the affection she had been denied for so long. Christine and David's relationship is founded on a mutually shared commitment to family and an unshakable deep love that grows stronger by the day. In contrast to the faraway and strained relationship that Christine had with Kody, her new relationship with David is full of love, warmth, and real closeness. Christine moves with a confidence that she lacked in her 27 years with Kody, a confidence that comes from now being with someone who truly appreciates her and acknowledges her value. Perhaps the biggest observable change in Christine's new relationship is how open and affectionate she and David are with one another. Throughout season 19 of Sister Wives, viewers saw hundreds of moments of affection, kissing, hand-holding, and cuddling that seemed to occur in public and near family members. This publicness surprised some fans who had become accustomed to the reserve, emotionally aloof relationship between Christine and Kody. But to Christine, this was more than about being affectionate in public. It was about receiving the happiness she had been long denied. Even though Christine's children soon came to welcome David into their world, not all of them were so accepting of the public demonstrations of affection. It is awkward, and sometimes even painful, for children to witness their mother engaging in intimate moments with a new male presence, particularly when their actual father remains active in their lives. But even with initial hesitation, Christine's children were understanding and accommodating of their mother's joy. On the Sister Wives season 19 tell-all, the on-screen reactions of Christine and David's kids to PDA between their parents were revealed. It was an eye-opening moment that highlighted the nuance of blended families and shifting dynamics. Isabel Brown, Christine's 22-year-old daughter, openly addressed the issue. "Yeah, my mom always wanted more physical affection from Dad," she remarked, smiling knowingly. "And now she's gonna have physical affection in public as much as she wants." Those were her exact words, and they reiterated the sentiments of all those who had seen Christine's silent battles in her prior marriage. This recognition by Christine's children serves to point out a significant truth. Although changing from one family arrangement to another can be difficult, love and support usually win out. Christine's children have witnessed how David has introduced stability and happiness into their mother's life, and they've welcomed him into the family. For them, watching their mother at last happy and loved is more important than any embarrassment about public displays of affection. Christine's is a compelling tale of healing and rediscovery. Once a woman who felt years of neglect and invisibility, she has now found a partner who not only loves her, but openly and proudly demonstrates it. The love David provides has given Christine a second chance at life and a renewed sense of self-worth. And while the adjustment has had its ups and downs, the love that holds this new family together is strong and real. Christine is finally living the life she had always dreamed about, full of love, affection, and acceptance. Her children, who were unsure in the beginning, now stand by her side, glad to see their mother's smile broader than ever. Christine and David together prove that no matter how complex the past may be, a loving and happy future always lies ahead.